what's up everyone? Hey, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in to my channel. Greatly appreciate it. I just thought it's a perfect time for me to hop in online and talk about Airmatic system. It is a beautiful night. I'm sitting in my car and just kind of waiting for me to go home, and I thought, without the kids in the house making noise or any distraction, I can actually sit in my car and talk to you about this. Okay, now this is not a tutorial, but this is just a conversation about a certain thing in your car. It's an Airmatic system, and a lot of people are talking about Airmatic system and they don't understand what it does and what's the purpose and all that stuff. So myself, I own a Mercedes-Benz, and I figured, like, you know what, why not I share this information to my viewers, and hopefully it will help them understand what the Airmatic system does and what's the purpose of it and what they can do to look for the problem and diagnose it without taking it to the shop and charge you with hundreds of dollars to just put it in a computer system, which many times when they put it into the computer system, which is a scanner, a lot of times it doesn't really pinpoint exactly what the problem of the vehicle when it comes to Airmatic system. Okay, it only tells you that the possibility that it could be this, and check on those, and then you just spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars, maybe not $1,000 but hundreds of dollars, just to look for the problem. Okay, that's basically what the mechanics do. They diagnose it, they tell you what they think it is, but they're not sure. So you say go ahead, fix it, and then now boom, they just made a jackpot out of you. They just charge you thousands of dollars for labor and trying to fix something that they don't even know exactly what's wrong with it. Okay, so they're spending more time searching for the problem, and then boom, you lost thousands of dollars. So this is what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about it, and hopefully this would help you save money in the long run. Okay, so what is an Airmatic system? Well, Airmatic system is basically what it is. Airmatic. Okay, air, right, blowing air. Matic, which is automatic. Like Airmatic creates air. Okay, so Airmatic system is basically when your vehicle sits like this on the ground, and then when you turn on the ignition, and then it starts to create pressure, which is air inside the system, and then it starts to raise up your vehicle like this. Okay, until it reaches to its height requirement. All right, so when it reaches to its height requirement, then the compressor stops, and then it will stay right there. Now here's the thing, the Airmatic system can go bad. Okay, when they go bad, either your car starts to sag down in the rear, in the front, sideways, other side, then it kind of looks funny, and then it doesn't drive comfortable, and you're gonna be switching tires constantly because it throws off the alignment and all that stuff, and all this big stuff going on, right? So what you need to do is basically you need to fix the Airmatic system. It's gonna throw off a code and say, hey, you need to take it to the shop and get that thing checked. But the problem is you don't know exactly where's the problem. Where is it coming from? I mean, how do I fix this? Okay, so here's what you could do. All right, there are 6 important components in our Airmatic system. I'm sure there's more, but I mainly look at it as 6. Okay, there's 6 of them, and I wrote down a list here, so if I'm looking down, that means I'm reading my note. Okay, so there's the Airmatic control reservoir. Okay, that's one. There's an Airmatic compressor. There's the level control valve block. the air struts, the height sensor, and the control module. Okay, those are the 6 important ones. Now, I also probably would put the airlines, because the airlines is part of the important part of the Airmatic system as well. Okay, but let's talk about each one of those. All right, and once I talk about this, each one of these things, and explain to you what it does, I'm gonna put a picture in there in this video, and you can get an idea where they are and what they do. Okay, and where they're located of the part of the car. All right, so first thing first, what is an Airmatic control reservoir? Well, it's a reservoir. All right, it's a air. Basically it fills up in air. It's like a reservoir. It's a big huge reservoir. It's like metal, chrome color looking. It sits underneath the vehicle. Okay, so what it does, it acts like a storage tank, and it's compressed air within the vehicle of the Airmatic system. Okay, I'm not sure if that makes sense, so follow me here. All right, it basically allows to compensate or preserve air as the air system adjusts its right height level. Okay, so when the compressor stops, because it's not going to be running all the time, okay, it's going to stop at some point. Okay, but it's gonna need some extra air in that line to make up what it's missing. Okay, so let's say when you're bouncing or things like that, it's going to throw off some air into your system. All right, so we don't want what that reservoir does, it basically preserves the air. So when it throws off some air out of your system, it preserves it, and it throws off a little bit and gives up to what it was losing it, right? So follow me here. All right, so excuse me if I keep saying all right, because that's just me. I always say all right. Every conversation I make with people, I say all right. It's a habit. I'm sorry. But anyway, so what it does, that's what it does. Okay, it preserves air into that system in that reservoir. So when the compressor stops, and when you're driving down the road, as soon as you do things like hit the bumps or whatever, it takes out some air. Okay, now the air stays inside the system. It's just, it basically, when it compress your struts, then it sucks up air, and then it bounce back, and then it basically replenish the air. And that's what that reservoir does. Okay, now the Airmatic compressor, which is the number 2 important part of the system, is basically, it pumps dried air towards the valve block. Okay, we'll talk about the valve block after this, but basically it's an compressor motor that pumps air into the valve block. Okay, it basically distributes air into that system. That's what it does. All right, so I'm gonna show you that, and I'm gonna basically do some sketch here, and I'm gonna tell you exactly where to locate it and what it looks like. Okay, I'm gonna put pictures as well in there, so just follow me here for a minute. All right, I'm almost done with all this explanation. So level control valve block. Okay, remember the valve block I was talking about? The compressor will send air dry dry air into the valve block. That's what I'm talking about. It's basically, it's a level control valve block is they distribute air into the spring and provide suspension In other words, there will be, it's like a piece of block. It has bunch of air lines coming out of it, and then there'll be an air line that connects to the compressor, and the compressor comes on, and then it distributes dry air into the compressor valve block. I mean, not compressor valve block, but the level valve block, control valve block. Excuse me, I'm getting tired. And then what it does is it distributes air into each part of the car. Okay, that can go bad as well. All right, when that goes bad, then you're gonna have to replace the whole piece. Now I will explain that to you later. Now let's talk about the air strut, which is the number 4. Okay, the air strut basically combines a shock with the air spring to provide structural support of the car suspension. Okay, it combines a shock with an air spring to provide structural support of the car suspension. So basically, in the other cars, we have that spring, right? When we take out the struts, if there's gonna be spring around it with other cars, not with a car that has Airmatic system. What it does is basically the spring is basically the air. Okay, instead of a spring, they use air. Okay, so what it does is when the shock pushes down, when you hit the bump, it pushes down, and then the air pressures back up. Okay, that's what air struts is. So when that breaks, it starts to leaks out, and that can also make your car sink down. So, and then the 5th one, which is the height sensor. All right, so the height sensor is basically it determines the proper ride height of the vehicle. They basically send instruction to the control module until the vehicle is correct in the correct height. Okay, so it basically sends information into the control module, and the control module will basically kicks in the compressor to pump in some air. Okay, if the sensor goes bad, then the compressor will not kick in. All right, then number 6, the control module. Control module is basically manages the vehicle's air suspension system, and it communicates with the valve block to optimize ride comfort, safety, and auto leveling. Okay, so what it does basically is it's basically almost like a computer brain. Okay, it's a module. It controls and it tells the valve block to spit more air if needed. All right, so the valve block is gonna close open, whatever. When the compressor comes on, it's still going to stay open, but when the compressor starts to go off, then the control module manages all the airs around it. Okay, so if it's missing some air, then it kicks in, the control valve block will spit out some more air out of it. Okay, and like, remember I said about the reservoir, that's where it comes out to. Okay, it's basically sending signals to that reservoir to spit a little bit more air in there to make up what it's missing. All right, that's a lot of explanation there. Okay, but here's what we can do. All right, I'm gonna tell you how to locate this 6 important parts of the Airmatic system. Okay, so I'm gonna pause here real quick. I'm gonna get my pen and paper and get it ready. Hold on a second. Okay, so now I have this piece of paper in my hand here. So number 1, it's the Airmatic central reservoir. Just imagine this is the headlights, bumper, all right, hood. Now, a lot of times the The aromatic central reservoir will be at least in the Mercedes-Benz, okay? Now you might have to do research if you have a different vehicle, but in the Mercedes-Benz, at least it will be sitting right below the bumper of the driver's side, okay? And right next to the fender right here where the wheel's sitting, okay, you have to take out the cover right here around the wheels, and you have to go underneath to get the cover to access to the reservoir, okay? It'll be hanging right there. All right, you might have to take out the headlight to unscrew to access to the screws where the reservoir is being screwed in. So you might have to take out the headlight, okay? Then we're gonna look for the Airmatic compressor unit. Where's the Airmatic compressor unit? It will be in the opposite side of the vehicle, which is the Mercedes-Benz, okay? It's gonna be sitting right here next to the wheels as well, just like right here, and then it will be hanging right in this area. It's very easy to pull out. All you have to do again is just pull out the cover right here around the fender of the wheels, the cover of the wheels, and underneath the cover right there you should be able to access to the pump, the compressor unit. Now the level control valve block. The level control valve block will be sitting right on top of the compressor unit. Just right on top of it, okay? Valve block, depending on what vehicle you have, they might look different, but you can basically tell if it's a valve block because you will see some airlines coming out of it, okay? There will be airlines coming out of that valve block, all right? And that's two different pieces. There's the compressor right here underneath of the valve block, and there's the level control valve block on top of it, sitting on top of it. All right, so that's how you can locate those three. All right, so now the air struts. We're gonna look for the air struts. The air struts is basically, this is your wheels, and then it's basically that piece that stands behind the wheels, okay, that connects to the wheels, and it's going to connect to the hood. You're gonna have to open the hood to access to this, to the screws, in order for you to replace this air struts, okay? What it is basically like a suspension. When the car hits a bump, this thing will go whoop, and then it pushes back up, okay? That's why it's, because it's an air struts. All right, and then we're gonna talk about the height sensor. Where's the height sensor gonna be located? Well, depending on what kind of vehicle you have, there could be only 4 sensor or 3 sensors, okay? In my case, I have a Mercedes-Benz 2003 S500. There's only 3 sensors on mine, all right? 2 in the front and 1 in the back, in the middle of the back, okay? So let's say this is your tire, this is the air struts, okay, that we're talking about, okay? That's the wheels, basically, lug nuts, okay? The height sensor will be basically, it's kind of like a square looking shape, okay? And it's going to have links that's hanging, holding the sensor, okay? It's going to be behind the wheels, just right behind the wheels, and it's attached next to the strut. So it's a square, like cube shape, and it's going to be basically screwed in with a links, like an arm link kind of looking. Okay, the same thing as the other side. Now on the rear, in my case, in my Mercedes-Benz, it's basically, this is my back, this is the wheels. Okay, that's the wheels. It's basically between these two wheels on the rear. Okay, it will be sitting right on, way deep inside underneath the vehicle. All right, it's kind of hard to get underneath it and access to it, but it's doable. All right, they have it designed where you can actually access and take it out. Might not be as easy as you would like to. Excuse me. Then we got the control module. Okay. Okay, so the control module is basically, we'll scratch this thing off. Okay, we're done with this sketch. It's basically gonna be inside the car. All right, let's just say it will be located, this is the chair. All right, this is your chair, passenger chair. Okay, this is the passenger chair. Let's just I was never good in art, so please excuse me my drawing. Okay, so you're inside the vehicle. All right, this is the passenger side, not the driver's side, and it will be located where your feet rest, right in front of you. Okay, that's where the control module will be. You will have to take out this carpet right here, and you will see a piece of metal in there, and then you have to basically pull out that metal, and you will see the control module right underneath your feet. You can access it inside the vehicle, at least in the Mercedes-Benz. I'm not sure where the other ones are, what kind of car you got, but at least in my Mercedes-Benz, it will be right on the passenger side, right underneath your feet. Just uncover it and you will be able to access to it. Okay, so that's basically the 6 important components of the Airmatic system that you want to make sure that you need to keep an eye on if you need to fix your Airmatic system. All right, it's very important to know that one of those things can go bad. You might not know exactly which one, so it's better is that you don't just assume it's the problem. Always start from the cheapest to the most expensive. Okay, like for instance, all right, if I have a leak in the airline on the Airmatic system, of course that's going to be a little bit cheaper, right? Because it's just an airline. So I'm going to buy that first. Okay, then I work my way to the next expensive. It could be the sensor height. Sensor height can cost you about $12 in Amazon. All right, so it's up to you. You can save that way. Now, always do your research first, and always find out where the problem is first before you start buying this stuff. Because if you're going to buy this stuff thinking, oh, it might be the sensor, it might not even be the sensor that's causing the problem. You know, the sensor might be just working properly, so there might be a leak in the hose, or the compressor might be weak enough not to pump enough air, right? So what you need to do is basically always find out first and be 100% know that that's the exact problem. Okay, because you can look for this you can look and diagnose this stuff in your home. All right, now As far as compressor unit, I would say, even though if it's pumping, and chances are if this vehicle has not been not have been serviced for a long time and you have over 100,000 miles, it's better if you just replace the compressor unit. Okay, it's better to replace the control valve block, because those things cannot be repaired. Okay, you can't really take them apart and then try to repair it yourself. You're gonna have to buy the whole entire piece too. Okay, but those are the most important part of the component. So if you have a car that it's sagging and then you can't figure it out what's wrong with it, exactly where the and pinpoint where the problem is, start from the smallest to the top. Okay, and I'm going to teach you how that's going to work. I'm going to teach you how to check leaks, and I'm going to show you where the components are, and you can take it from there and see how you want to spend your money. All right, in this case, what I did is, when I found out my Mercedes-Benz was sagging down, one of my biggest mistake was I went and spent the most expensive part, which is the computer module. The computer module cost me almost $300, okay, for aftermarket ones, and find out that it was not even the control module. Okay, it was a simple one. It was just a leak in my airline. Okay, but it's something that I've learned, and you will learn too. You will learn your mistakes, but like, my best advice is start from the cheapest to the most expensive. Okay, check the airline. Make sure you check all this before you start buying things. Check the airline, check the sensor, check the compressor unit, check the reservoir, check the air struts, check the control module. The control module most likely won't go bad. Okay, because control module is a computer that's designed to last longer, and it's not constantly being used by the Mercedes-Benz, because all you have to do is really start it, and then when you start it, then it sends signals to the control module, and that's all it does. It's work, really. Okay, so it's not being overworked, because it stops once it reaches to its height level. It's not overworking constantly. All right, so most likely when you do have a sagging, your vehicle is sagging, it's not the control module. So try to, unless of course if you're messing around with it and then you made a spark, whatever, then yes, probably. But try to not check on that yet. Use that as last, but that's the most expensive. Okay, so like I said, start from the cheapest to the most expensive. All right, but always check those components, and I guarantee you will be able to figure it out what's wrong with your vehicle, what's wrong with the Airmatic system. Okay, the only pain in the butt on this is that when you fix one thing, you thought that was the problem, that might not be even the problem. That's why it's important to check all of them first. Okay, the airline can be checked. I'll show you how that works. Just look at the videos coming up soon on that. The reservoir can be checked for leaks. The air struts system can be checked for leaks. The level control valve block, well, you can check it visually. You will not be able to know if it's bad, really bad, or good, if it's working properly or not, without really doing a full diagnostic. But most of the time, you don't even want to waste your taking it to the shop and have them check it, because it will save you more money just to buy a brand new one for like $20-$30 and put a new one in there. To be honest to you. You don't need to have them diagnose it if your valve lock is bad or your compressor is bad. Just buy a new compressor too. It will only cost you about probably $80 for a new compressor. It's cheap. I mean, you could do this all by yourself really, without being charged hourly and all the stuff, you know. So that's my best advice. I will put some videos more how to look for them and how to diagnose them. All right. In the meantime, you guys have a good night, and thanks for tuning in. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share my videos. Love you guys. Bye.